my goodness, it's Wednesday and we are live. Yes. Hi, good morning. Welcome to the Women Who Soar morning huddle edition. Dora is scatterbrained this morning, but let's do it anyways. That's the title of this morning's morning huddle. Yeah, I'm human, right? I'm totally scattered this morning. I'm all over the place. And even though I've done my morning meditation, I'm still boop, 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 boop in my head. So let's try to center this. Good morning. If you are with me, come in and say hi. So thank you for joining. It is morning huddle time on Wednesday, where over the next few weeks I'm jumping in at 9 a.m. every day, but weekends, and there's a couple Fridays, and so like this Friday I will be on a plane flying to Miami, so I will not be doing a morning huddle on Monday morning. Good morning, thanks for joining. Hey Ginger, hi Trisha. So I was just saying that this morning I've been scattered, but I'm jumping in here to try to de-scatter my brain and talk with you guys. Couple of things. One that's been going on. Of course, I want to talk sales and discovery calls and all of that. But I posted in this morning that I also wanted to talk about finding your truth and finding your purpose. So when the one of the very first things that I do when I work one-on-one with a client that has not figured out their purpose and has not figured out what they really want to do. Sometimes I'm working with business owners that are like, this is my business. It is golden and now I'm scaling. But then there's times that, we're not, you're still working your 9 to 5, or you're finding another 9 to 5, or you're just really unhappy doing what you're doing. And you really need to figure out your truth as to what you really want to do and what your purpose really is. And so this morning I wanted to talk a little bit about that because it's splendid when you do find your purpose and your truth. So what does that look like? So what it looks like, the first thing I ask women to do when they're like, I don't know. I don't know what my purpose is to make a list. So get your fun, happy little journal out. And make a list. And what I want you to make a list of, some of you know this if you're joining and you've worked with me, make a list of, look at how crazy my hair is today. I'm just a mess, guys, but that's okay. Describe. Make a list and describe 15 ways that you bring value to the world. So some people say, well, that's, like a gratitude list or strengths or things that I'm good at. And no, that's not what I mean. So it's not like I'm loyal and I'm trustworthy. And I mean 15 ways, describing 15 ways that you really bring value to the world. Thanks for joining. Hi, good morning. We are just talking about how scattered my brain is and how you find your purpose. So when you write down and describe 15 ways that you bring value to the world, that enters in your past. So you're going to look throughout your life and you're going to look at the things that have happened throughout your life, primarily that you've led, that have changed you and have changed others. So that is describing 15 ways that you bring value to the world. So some examples of that would be, I bring value to the world through self-sufficiency. I've always, through my entire life, have been self-sufficient and have taken care of myself, my daughters, my family, and that is a core value that has been installed in me since I was a teeny tiny little girl with my mom being a powerhouse. So that is something describing value that I bring to the world is women and power, and women in self-sufficiency. So that gives you an example of how to look and describe these ways that you bring value to the world. I have a client that has always put together adventures and travel, and it comes really natural to her. So that goes on her list, right? So being able to connect with women beyond the surface and help women get vulnerable. That's one of the things that I found when I did this exercise. So solving problems, project management. I'm just naming words. I want you to get your mind starting to think about those 15 ways that you've brought value to the world. And those are things that are like natural. This is if you read the book, if you've read the book The Biggest Leap by Gary Hendricks, he talks about the psychology of our beliefs. And when we are in our zone of genius, things are done naturally. Nothing has to be forced. There's no glass ceiling. It is completely unlimited beliefs. And when you're living in your truth and you're living in your purpose, you have that. So that's the starting point for making that list. And I'd love to hear from the folks that listen to the replay and that are listening now. If you are in that, if you haven't found your purpose, or even if you have found your purpose and you want to relook again and take a good look-see, and let me know what you find. I have a friend, a newer friend, and I met her through a group that I'm in with a bunch of coaches. And I connected with her on a deeper level pretty immediately. And she's been traveling around the U.S. for the last year, and she just settled back home. And she posted this morning that she's taken a client on this beautiful 3-day retreat. And she walked in and was showing us the location and sharing how she felt about her how it took her breath away, that this was her life, that she got to work with these women in such private, intimate settings, and her life felt like it was a dream. And I immediately incredibly connected to her as I was reading the post, and I was like, oh yes, that's how we get to live. When we make the decision that we want to live in our purpose and that we want to bring that type of value to the world, we get to do it. We just have to make a decision. Another thing that's been popping up, see, I'm really scattered today, guys. Another thing that's been popping up a lot is these 3 steps of intent, decision, and action. So when you're uncovering your purpose, when you're uncovering those 15 ways and you're starting to really find out and have conversations about it, that's really building intent. That's the purpose, the intent. Sometimes we act before we have the intent. Like, oh, I think I want to do this because I think it could make me money. I think it could be, it could bring me self-sufficiency. So we just act. But we act without doing the intent. And sometimes it falls flat. And that's okay. We're experimenting. How many times? I did that for 40 years of my life. So I get you. So intent is important, really important. And the second is decision. Once you make a decision, then you can act. And then you stay clear on your decision. And what I mean by decision is not flip-flopping 1,000 offers. Good morning. Thanks for coming in and saying hi. Hey, Sandra. Thanks for watching. So not flip-flopping through a ton of offers. Like, make a decision and do it. And sometimes those decisions can be impulsive after you have gone through intent and after you've made the decision. I have a coach that made a decision to offer to offer a 90-day program for $25,000, and that was a decision that she made, and she's following through. I made a recent decision to hire a new coach, and that was a decision, followed it through. But I did the intent piece first, right? The intent comes first. So I want to talk about that this morning. And oh my gosh, we only have 2 minutes left. And I was going to talk about prospecting and discovery calls. So I might save that for tomorrow. I hope this was helpful this morning. And yeah, let me know if you do this little activity, what you find out. And tomorrow I will go into how do we get clients and what does prospecting look like, and what does discovery calls look like, and of course I'll go into strategy and talk about all the stuff that we should be doing weekly to grow our business. So yeah, cool. Oh, Sandra, yeah, it was intent. So intent, and then decision, and then action. And then sometimes we do it in a different way. Like we'll make a decision and then we'll act, or we'll act and then we make the decision. And so the process is intent, decision, and action. So yeah, thanks for listening. All right, guys. Have a wonderful Wednesday. Thanks for putting up with my little scatterbrain today. And thank you for joining. This makes me so happy. And I'll see everybody tomorrow. Bye.